Forget about a housing crash in America for the moment, because we have a stalemate. Today, I read an interesting article on Yahoo Finance, put out by Fortune and written by Elena Botras, titled, Wells Fargo says home sales aren't far off from levels seen in the wake of the Great Recession. According to the author, home sales are barely above the pace experienced in the years that followed the housing crash. This time around, it's because would-be buyers can't afford the 1-2 punch of high home prices and high mortgage rates, and sellers can't afford to lose their low rates. Here are my thoughts. Rates should have never been kept artificially low for so long. I also don't agree with all of the trillions of dollars that were injected into the economy. In my humble opinion, we did not need all of that stimulus. A lot of that was just a gift to the super wealthy who own assets. All of this overheated the real estate market, resulting in supply and demand issues. Now that we are in a more normal interest rate environment, everything is in gridlock. I personally get frustrated when I hear about people saying rates are too high right now. They aren't too high. It's just that people grew accustomed to artificially low rates. I understand people not wanting to move because they don't want to give up their low interest rate on a mortgage. But I have news for you. Some people will be put into a situation where they have to sell. There will be divorces, and neither individual will be able to afford the payment without a second breadwinner. There will be people who get laid off, especially if we enter an ugly recession. They will be forced to sell the home because many American families rely on 2 incomes just to live paycheck to paycheck. When there is not a second paycheck coming in, the house will need to go. There will be people who pass away, and those who inherit the properties will want to sell them. There will be people who need to go into a nursing home, and they will be forced to sell their home. There will also be people who get transferred to another state or another country for work. If Donald Trump's tariffs result in a war of some type, servicemen and women may decide to sell their homes for a long deployment. I spoke with a real estate agent recently who listed a home because a man was leaving for a very long military deployment. There are 5 things going on right now that could result in people selling their homes. Number 1, HOA fees are going up for many homeowners, especially those in Florida close to the coast in a high-rise, because they need to cover the cost of structural improvements. Even for those just living in a regular neighborhood, HOA fees may go up because it now costs more for the HOA to hire contractors to make neighborhood repairs, or more for the HOA to hire mowing people or landscaping people. If the HOA has buildings that need to be insured, such as a pool house, the cost of insurance has also gone up. This leads me to the second item that is impacting almost everyone in America. The cost of home insurance has been going up. For those with a mortgage, this may result in the escrow needing to be replenished. The mortgage payment will go up because of this. Some Americans won't be able to afford the increase, especially if they are on a fixed income. Here's the third reason: property taxes. As home prices have gone up, counties are going to adjust the property taxes. Some increases are limited depending on where people live. Not everyone is so lucky, though. Here's the fourth thing on my list: the cost of maintenance for homes. Many Americans do not know how to maintain their homes, or they are not physically able to maintain their homes due to their age or because of a disability. The cost to hire someone to come in and make repairs or even do general exterior or interior maintenance is getting astronomically expensive. There are people who won't be able to afford to keep their home because of this. Here is the fifth thing on my list. Some people can no longer afford their home because the cost of living for everything else in life has become too much. The cost of groceries has gone up, medical care has gotten more expensive, the cost for daycare, car repairs, and car insurance have gone up. Some of these people have credit card debt, and that is getting very expensive to deal with in this higher interest rate environment. Some people have had to resume making their student loan payments after the multi-year pause. Some have to choose between affording life or making a mortgage payment. Some may be forced to get rid of the home and move into a tiny apartment or move in with their parents. Getting back to the article, the author provided some data. In January, total home sales came in at 4.7 million. That level is only modestly above the weak rate experienced in the wake of the Great Recession between 2008 and 2010. My friends, this is not good news. Those were some dark times here in America. There are so many people who have livelihoods that depend on the housing market. It is unfortunate to read about this current situation. As time goes on, I think sellers in some areas of the country will be forced to get realistic with their prices. Note I said some areas of the country. There are places where there is real estate inventory, and there are places where real estate is still hot. Then there are areas in America where very little is moving in certain price ranges. Real estate is very local. It is going to be really interesting to see what transpires moving forward in the real estate market. If we enter an ugly recession, I think this is when we start to see a lot of things unfold in the real estate market. I read some of the comments beneath this article. I'll share some of them with you. The first commenter said, "Who is buying besides investors? No one. Look at wages in the areas the houses are for sale. Real people can't afford them. You have homeless people living in cars and working that can't even afford rent. Get real." The next commenter said, "My son's mortgage payment has gone from $2,050 per month to over $2,500 per month in the last 3 years because of insurance and property taxes. That combined with massive inflation in the last 3 years, and he is trying to raise a 1, 3, and 5-year-old. And this has led to me having to help him financially because that family is just getting started. It's really looking like the house is more of a burden than he expected it to be. The American dream is becoming a nightmare." The next commenter said, "I was looking at moving, but I checked all these new townhome communities in northern New Jersey, and a 3-bedroom townhome is like $950,000 with a $550 per month HOA fee." The last comment that I'll share with you came from someone who said, "I'm not spending $700,000 on a house bought by a flipper for $100,000 down south. We are all laughing because it has been on the market for over a year." Well, my friends, the commenters always have interesting things to say. Please keep in mind, these are the thoughts of the commenters and not me. What do you think about all this? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing to the channel. I want to extend a special thanks to everyone who has subscribed to this channel. I want to also thank all of my channel members. If you would like to become a channel member, there is a link in the description beneath this video. You can read more about the different membership levels. Please also check out some of the great books that I suggest you consider reading in the description below. I've included Amazon affiliate links to these books. As an Amazon associate, I earn from qualifying purchases. Stay healthy and wealthy, and I'll see everyone in the next video.